Hello. So I am Diana and Jessie Aineviona, and this has been a very interesting week at our house. Jessie has been throwing around a new word, and that word is paradigm. Paradigm. So he's been explaining to me a lot about paradigm, and here we are, to go through what paradigm means and a few other things concerning the word paradigm. Mm-hmm. So Jessie, what is paradigm?
Paradigm. A paradigm is a mental program that controls our habitual behavior. So it's a program mentally that controls our behavior. And as you realize, most of our behavior is habitual. Mm-hmm. So a paradigm is that, let me call it an operating system or a mental program that governs, that controls what we do. It kicks in regardless of what we want or what we don't want. So an example of a paradigm could be, someone could be, say, wired to be not time conscious. So someone might say, let's meet maybe tomorrow at 10 a.m. The person's paradigm or this mental program is not wired to keep time. Yeah. So tomorrow at the appointed time, you might be there because for you, you feel I have to keep time. Yeah. You call the person and the person is just leaving the house. Yeah. Why? Because this program is not wired for the person to arrive in time, be on time, or be time conscious. Yeah. That is an example of a paradigm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So how can someone be able to identify what their paradigm is, and then even still what would cause somebody to have a particular paradigm? Yeah. Good. Are you born like that? Is it something that just happens over time? So, what causes it and how can somebody be able to tell what their paradigm is?
Okay. How do you know your paradigm? Two things. One, look at your results. Two, look at your behavior. Yeah. Those two will tell you what your wiring, what your paradigm, or what your program looks like. Your results could be maybe the amount of money you're earning. It could be the volume of sales you're making. It could be your weight. It could be anything. But all those simply show you what your paradigm is. So to know what your program looks like, simply take a look at your results. Look at your behavior. Now, how does it come about? It is an interesting thing because a paradigm comes about from the environment. So it starts with the way we are raised. Yeah. Now, when we are raised, the things that we are exposed to, it is said that environment is more important than heredity. If you take a little baby born in Uganda or in any country, and you take this child to China, at the age of 6, the child will be fluent in Chinese. Why? Because that is their environment.
That's their environment.
Exactly. So growing up, we learned to observe certain things, and we see this with our daughter. Yeah. With our daughters, there are things they are picking up, and you can literally see that they are doing them because they have watched us do them. Yeah. They are picking up reading habits. They like to wake up in the morning, and you see them concentrating on their books. Why? Because they see the parents do it. Yeah. So paradigms are formed when we are growing up, but it is largely a product of our environment. The people that we surround ourselves with and the people that we were exposed to as we were growing up. Yeah. Now, when this paradigm has taken root, it is almost difficult to break. It is something, I have seen it. Someone says, I want to spend more time with my children. That's what they want. At the conscious level, that's what they want. But they forget that there is a program that has already been installed that does not care what you want. Yeah. Someone will say, I want to spend more time with my children. But this is the same person who will say, but I have my friend's wedding, so I have to go. A friend has lost a loved one. I have to go. So you find that every other time something keeps on coming up, and that is the paradigm at work, because the paradigm is wired for you not to spend time with your kids. So you might be saying, I want to spend more time with my family, but the mental program is wired in such a way that you're supposed to be elsewhere. So life will keep on happening in such a way that it will keep you on track for what it is wired for. Yeah. The same thing is with, let's say, an example of a financial program. So someone's paradigm could be wired to handle 1 million shillings, okay, or $500. Then you win a lottery. The lottery gives you $20,000 or about 100 million. The mentor program is only wired to handle 2 million shillings or $500. Life will play it in such a way that either you'll make a wrong investment, you will give away some of that money. Somewhere, somehow, a time will come when you simply are at the level where your mentor program is. So it is a blueprint. It's like a thermostat. If a thermostat is wired to have the room at 70 degrees and somebody leaves the door open, after some time, it will kick in. The system will ensure that with time, the temperature will come back to 70. That is how our paradigms are formed, and that is how they control our behavior.
Yeah. I think for me, I can really see myself in terms of like I'm such a homebody. Like I like to be at home. Like I have to work so hard to not be at home. Like even sometimes I will plan and say I will do this, I'll do that, but like somehow I will end up staying at home or even just being around the kids, doing activities with the kids. Like even if I tell myself I'm going to spend the afternoon alone, I will not. And for me, it's not even that, because like I had to even ask myself, is it because I feel insecure that I'm leaving them alone? And I realized it's actually not that, but it's just my default setting that I will be with them. But now I realize that that's how my mother was. Even the things like, cooking with them, sitting with them to watch TV, those are the exact things that she did. So it's like it just comes naturally. Like even if I try not to do it, I will do it. And that's just how it is. And I think like now I've accepted it.
And it's a good thing.
And I think it's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
I've accepted it that that is who I am. And I cannot force myself to be something else.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Can you tell us your paradigm? One of the things which you see that,
Good. So one of the things that I am also surprised has had to change about me is I had a paradigm that I was habitually late. I was habitually late. I was just not time conscious. Not at all. So we would say we are meeting. I remember our first time. I remember our first date. I insisted that we are going to meet at this particular time in this particular place, and she really took me serious. For me, that's what I wanted consciously, but at a subconscious level, someone who is habitually late. Let me just give you this as an example. If you're supposed to be meeting maybe at 8, at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m., let's take 8 p.m. as an example, you should be leaving where you are at a certain time. So for someone who is not time conscious, all they focus on is 8 p.m., 8 p.m., 8 p.m. So because of that, you don't pay attention to the process that you have to do before so that you can be in time for the appointment. Now, that was my default setting. How did that change? And maybe that brings us to how can
even let's even just say that even after, like, you who knows that you're supposed to meet at 8, you will start leaving at 8 because 8 is in your head. Then you reach 20 minutes later and it's normal. Because I remember you were 20 minutes late and I was like, and it was normal. So because it's your default setting, like you don't even think too much about it.
Now, how did that change? To change a paradigm, first of all, I must say it takes 3 things. 1, exposure. You might have to change some of your friends. Because think about this, if you want to lose weight and you're always with people who are eating out and eating all these nice things, even if you manage to lose it, it will soon come back. Why? Because of your environment. 1, exposure. 2, self-discipline. And 3, willpower. You really have to work at it because you're literally going against yourself. In my case, a few things happened. 1, I joined associations that begin their meetings on time. I can give you 3. 1, BSF, Bible Study Fellowship. The meeting starts at 6:15 on the dot.
Whether what?
Whether rain or doesn't matter, whether there is a storm, the meeting starts at that time.
Yeah.
Rotary, same thing. Meetings begin on time, whether people are there or not. At least people know that the meeting starts on time, so there will be someone. The meeting will start. Toastmasters, same thing. So because of the exposure to these associations, over time, I began to change my thinking.
Yeah.
I found myself being in good time for events. Now, someone might think I've always been like that, but that's far from truth.
Yeah.
It has come a long way.
Yeah.
I have had to work extremely hard at it. So
Yeah.
it is possible to change your paradigm. It all begins with, first of all, know what you want. Know which paradigm does not serve you and let go of those.
Yeah.
And then simply begin to build a new picture in your mind of the thing that you want to have.
Yeah.
So in my case, I had to begin looking at myself not as a latecomer, but as a time-conscious person.
Yeah.
So begin to work on that. Initially, it will be difficult because that's not your habitual default.
Yeah.
You're literally going against yourself. But as you begin to work on it, exposing yourself to environments, exposing yourself to situations that are going to help to bring out this new image into your life with self-discipline, determination, and a lot of willpower, you can begin to change your paradigm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of mine is spending. Like I love to spend, and like even if I try hard, like my default setting is to just spend. I'm like,
You're
forget
uncomfortable when you have the money until it gets finished.
Like I just have to spend. Like if I go to the shop, or I just have to find a shop and spend. But now what I've had to do is I track daily.
Yes.
If I have spent beyond what I should. Daily, every single day, I check myself. And for me, that has helped because I know that at the end of the day, I have to check myself if I have. So every time I'm going to spend, I'm like, what will my tracker show? And that has kind of helped me.
Yes.
Like this year, I am so much better than how. But you can imagine the amount of work that I have to track every single day.
Yes.
That I'm not spending.
Yes. And I think we have to agree. I mean, we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable initially.
Yeah.
Because if I could just give you an example, I like to give this as an example. If I say clasp your hands, you will just do this. Okay. So there is a particular finger, a thumb which is above the other. Now, if I say do the reverse, this, it feels uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable. But if you do it over and over and over and over and over, it will almost become second nature. So that's how you're going to have to change your habits. That's how you're going to have to change your paradigm. Because the truth is, our results are determined by our paradigm. True. If you want to get new results, you have to change the program. Trying to work on the results without changing the internal program is like trying to change the image in the mirror without changing yourself. Yeah. It will never happen. Yeah. So first work on your inner person before you can have a different output on the outside.
Wow. Yeah, so that's it about paradigm. Check your paradigm, and if you need to change your paradigm, work at it.
Thank you, Diana, and thank you for watching. I hope that helps. Take a paradigm shift and your results will get better. See you in the next video.